Leventhal, and I'm honored to have my co-host, Jennifer
Jennifer
McGuire, here with
McGuire.
me. Yeah, that was a prompt. I didn't know if I
Sorry,
should talk. Thank
sorry.
you all for joining. See a bunch of people joining, jumping in the conversation. Thank you, everyone. Jennifer and I now have, this is our fifth episode, although this is our fourth with Crafty Friends. We had the opportunity
Yep,
to start off and talk history, and man, it's been a lot of fun talking with
it
Tim,
has been.
Gina, Christina, Kathy. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I have to say that really defines this industry for me. 50 years, which is why we started doing this Hanging with Hero, and Jennifer
Yep,
kindly agreed to join me and co-host this program, really to celebrate not only 50 years of Hero Arts, but also 50 years of stamping. And one thing that defines me is just I have so many great friends,
yep,
including you, Jennifer. 20 years,
yes.
right? We've known each other. I don't think you get that in the corporate world, right? You don't get
No,
that in other industries. And
not at all. Especially with competitors, and
yeah,
competitors. Yeah, it's a unique thing. And let's be clear, I asked to be a co-host. I didn't want to miss out on the fun. So,
well, I'm really glad you did
yeah,
because
it's
it is
fun
definitely a lot of fun.
for sure.
I cherish the time that we've known each other and that the
Yes.
all the history we have in the industry, and so I think it's been really fun to talk all the history. And speaking about competitors, I really it goes back to that friendship thing. Even though there are
Yep.
competitors in this industry, I think as much as anything, there are people who I consider friends. I have them. I text regularly with people.
Yep.
For example, just today there was a rubber issue, and Angela from Unity Stamps just texted me. I
Ah,
didn't even know she had my phone number, but I was happy to take the call from her son
yeah.
Nick, and we talked. The line is blurred between competitors and basically how we think of this industry and customers, store owners. When a store goes
Yep.
out of business, it's a heartbreak.
It's hard.
Yeah, we all know it. So what a wonderful
Yep.
place to work. What a wonderful day to have a conversation. And we've got two great guests.
Two more of my favorite people. You're just bringing
Yes,
all my favorite people in. This is fantastic.
I'm trying.
Fantastic. Yeah, you're doing great. Lots of good humans in this industry.
Absolutely. And again, quote, competitors, but definitely not. I would call them friends.
Yep.
And I'm honored and happy to introduce Kelly Marie from Lawn Fawn and Greg Cottrell from Concord and Ninth. Welcome. Join
Hey,
us. look
Hi.
at
Hey
look.
guys, how's it going?
we're all together. This is fantastic.
Oh, it's
I
wonderful. I
love
feel like the
it.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Yes.
I looked down and waved to Greg.
I know. Am I in the bottom corner? Is that where? All
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
There you
Brady
go.
Bunch.
Yes.
Yep.
Do the Brady Bunch
Points.
style.
Other way.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm so excited.
Thank you
And
so much.
when and
Yes.
I got to piggyback on Kelly's week with you guys. So thank you for letting me like join the party. So
Oh my gosh. It's not a party till you join.
That's
Yes.
true. That's
Yes.
true.
We actually had Greg scheduled for next week, but he was going to be, I think, on vacation, right? And he was a little worried
I
that maybe the kids would be around. He would be distracted. We'd be asking questions. He'd be like, oh, sorry. I was looking at the beautiful
yeah.
view out here.
Because my kids would be asking me questions, and then yeah,
So super excited to have both of you. Thank you for joining.
thank
This
you.
series has been a lot of fun. Like I mentioned, like we got to hear, Tim was going to be an accountant. Gina was going to be a rock star. Um, Kathy and Christina are, they both call themselves tech wonks. Like they might have gone to the tech industry.
Yep.
And so just what a wonderful industry to have all this great creativity and continuity in it. Hero Arts being 50 years, you guys more recent, which we're going to hear tonight, hear your stories. Gina from 2006, although she was in the industry from about 1999. Tim, about 2002 is when he started. And you know what makes me think of when Hero Arts first started, 1974, 50 years ago, there were just a few companies. And when companies started, they all seemed to start in the area. All Night Media, 1976, Rubber Stampede, 1980. Get these names. They're crazy, right? Inca Dick and
Yeah.
Do,
Yeah.
1988. Personal Stamp Exchange, or PSX, 1982. Stamper Rose in 1985. And the thing about that is they were all right next to each other. Like we were all
Yeah.
within 50 miles. So you could go talk to people because the internet wasn't a big thing, you know,
Yeah.
like it is today. You would pick up a phone, you know, a rotary phone probably, and we'd call each other. And even back then, we were friends. Like that wasn't really competitors. It was trying to build in industry. And these days, I think you have new companies. What a wonderful thing! New companies starting
Yeah.
all the time. Although there was kind of a dead spot in the 90s and early 2000s when I think the industry contracted. And then, why don't we start with you, Kelly? You started looking at the stamping industry and tell us what
Yeah.
happened.
Well, we started in 2010, so that was our first year. And yeah, I guess should I say how I got involved in it or?
Yeah, please do.
Well, I always have made cards. Like I don't remember a time where I didn't. They were crayon, and I found a picture of one. My style. I'm a
Oh,
one hit wonder. This is the only card.
you're in focus.
I happened to find this right before. So I used to make cards, and it's something I always did in college. I would make thumbprint animal cards where you would
Yeah.
do your thumbprint and draw animals, and I would make them for all my friends. And so I just love making cards. And as the internet kind of grew as something you would search for things,
Yeah.
I Googled card making, and I found a Christina Werner Make a Card
Yeah.
Monday video, and I was like, there's stuff you can buy to make the cards. Wait, this is so cool. And so I kind of got hooked from there. It's actually not, I always had stamps and things that I played with, but I just drew all my cards. And so I just got so excited to, that there was all these things I could do, all these things I could learn. And
Yeah.
back when you could have popular music on YouTube, and you would watch like people would make cards and there'd be music playing over them. And so I just got so into it and I loved it. And I made cards and had a blog and did all those things. And at some point, kind of, I don't know, I don't honestly really know exactly how it happened, but I was like, wouldn't it be cool to have my own stamp company? Because I love this so much. And one of my best friends, Erica from college, is an incredible illustrator, and my husband, Mike, and I was like, hey, want to do something crazy? So I had this idea. I like obsessively researched everything about clear stamps and making them that I could find. And there was, it was harder to search things back then. It doesn't seem that long ago, but it really was. And so I spent months trying to figure out how to make them, and then getting samples and testing them, and Erica drawing beautiful things. And we started with 4 stamp sets in 2010.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great story. And
Incredible.
what do you think you would have been if you didn't go into stamping? Like, did you have a different career aspiration if the stamp company wasn't? No?
Yeah, well, my degrees are in biochemistry and music, so obviously I
Okay.
didn't. But other than
That works.
understanding how photopolymers made in the biochems, doesn't come as in handy. But yeah, so I did not know I would do this, but just life throws you surprises, and it was a side thing. I mean, Mike and Erica had their full-time jobs for years, from
Mhm.
law. At the time, I didn't love my job, so I was the one that kind of quit and did everything, and then they were doing it on the side. And then Mike had 2 computers. I remember one was one job and one was Lawn Fawn going. And then eventually we all came on full time. But yeah, we had 4 stamp sets. I used to literally solicit stores and show up with, because we had a lot of stores down here in Southern California, and I would show up with my 4 stamp sets and like cards and like a traveling salesperson, and just
I love it.
these were our first 4 stamps. So that's how we got started. And I already had a blog, so like that was a way that I could
Mm.
reach people. And I had made friends already online, that loved to make cards too. So they were the beautiful people that kind of supported us and helped us to keep growing. So I was so grateful for that.
Right. Beautiful. Love it. And
Love it.
thank you, everybody, for joining us. I see a number of people say, love Kelly. She's such a ray of sunshine, which is so true.
She
You
is.
are.
She is.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Yes. You're a ball
And
of
her
energy, and
whole
I'm sure a
team
great
is.
partner. I'm sure a great partner. I'm sure Erica and Mike were like, wow, we hit, we really hit this because Kelly is going to do all the work and we can just sit back and watch her happen.
Well,
I'll
I guess
tell.
it's so funny. They're my like introverts to my extrovert. Eric and I had to learn, almost like a married couple, how to be partners because we have very opposite personalities, but we're the best partners because of it. Just because I'm the overly excited counterpart to her, very measured. Kelly, maybe we can't put 20 million images in one stamp set. So you need both.
I will say
Nice.
that you think Kelly is a bundle of sunshine. It like spreads to her whole team. Her whole team, her other half, Mike, right, and Erica, and then Rebecca and Shari. There are so many wonderful people on her team, and I think it all starts with Kelly. So
That's very nice.
great.
No, the team here is amazing. The most
It's a
joyful
fun place to hang out with at shows. It's a fun place.
Yes, hanging out on the lawn. We always have fun. We're always silly.
Yep.
Some of my favorite times ever doing this job is being neighbors with Hero Arts and being silly at trade shows with you guys. So, that's
Absolutely.
what we do is fun. What we do is stamps and paper, and we make pretty things. So it's like, if you ever
There's
get
nothing like what's not to love about that.
right?
Yes.
I don't know if you feel that way, but sometimes we always joke like we just walk the aisles to look at all the cute critters smiling at us because like you can't miss that when there's a
Right.
dog
Yeah.
smiling at you or like some random piece of food that's smiling at you,
Kelly, a lot of people are asking how Lawn Fawn got their name.
Okay, so it's a funny story. I have my show and tell. I get confused.
There he is.
So this is Francois the Lawn Fawn. I've always loved deer. I do not know why. I had like imaginary pet deer as a kid. My dad and I would ride bikes to go see the deer. When I lived in Florida, we lived in like a wooded area with a lot of deer. I just love them. They're gentle and sweet and beautiful. And so as my 21st birthday present, my brother got me this cheesy light up lawn ornament deer. And so Mike, Eric, and I met in college playing in orchestra pits for musicals. And so we would put him, he had a light. His light is long gone over the years, but he had like a light that only glowed his body. His head would always stay dark for some reason. And we would put him in the orchestra pit at UCSD. And he was our good luck charm. And I named him Francois the Lawn Fawn because he's a fancy lawn ornament. So Francois the Lawn Fawn, he was so popular that the university wanted to keep him. Like he was like our mascot, and he would just glow in the bottom of the pit. And so anyways, when we started the company, it's like we named him after our good luck charm, Francois the
So
Lawn
fun.
So
I love that you still
it.
have him.
yeah, he
Yes.
kind of he sits in here a lot. He sometimes will float across the because we joke he's like a little creepy, but he's also cute. We love him. His head moves. So.
I like
He used
his choke. Is that a choker on it?
Yes.
Like,
I hope so. Like a 90s. I mean, he did come to me in 2001, so it's possible that he
I
has
love
a
it.
choker on. We should dress him up or like crochet him outfits, or Lila can crochet him outfits.
Yes, Lila could crochet an outfit for Francois.
Oh
She's
my
here
God.
gathering craft supplies. She's making a card for Colin because he's off for a few weeks volunteering, and so I'm trying to gather stuff while talking.
Nice.
She can crochet. There she is.
Hi, Lila.
Hello.
Yeah, so that's our
Well, that's it. Yeah. That's a great story, and the Lawn Fawn is immortalized in your company
Yes.
name, and you definitely have done justice to the Lawn Fawn, right? You bring sunshine all the time. Your company brings sunshine all the time. It is a lot of fun to hang out with you and your team. Awesome team. I really enjoy your Instagram posts too, because they are definitely in the kind of humorous range as well as the creative and innovative range, and
Yeah,
I find them quite.
Yeah, we have fun. fingers in our pockets. We can't help it. So
Yes.
Why not?
and
I
I
take
sent,
inspiration
yeah.
from your posts. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
And
we
Kelly,
sent,
another
oh,
question people had is, what instrument did you play?
oh, so okay, my degree is in percussion performance, but I also play piano, trumpet, mellophone, and French horn. So
Mm.
in the orchestra, I was playing percussion, and I know I can't focus on one thing. I do all the things. Percussion is my love. I love making loud noises. so that's my degree, and that's what I played in the musicals. But actually, fun fact, so our first one, Mike was conducting. It's a completely student-run musical at UCSB. Mike was the conductor. Erica plays flute, which suits her so much, and I was making too loud of noise in the back on my drums, and we actually all conducted the musical at one point. So I conducted a musical called Company, if anyone is a Sondheim fan, and Erica conducted the musical Hair. And so it was really cool. So we actually all got to do that at some point during, but Mike is he's such an incredible conductor. I prefer to stay in the back with my drumsticks. So.
Got it. Do you like rock at all? Because you and Gina, you
Yeah.
guys
know.
could start a band.
We could start it.
And Greg's a good singer, so they could just have a little.
There you go.
Yeah, Mike and Erica.
I'd be down to jam sometime. Like.
All right.
Oh my
Got a
goodness.
band together. Yeah. I play piano, so I could accompany if that was appropriate.
I also play piano, so we could just be like dueling pianos or.
Yes.
Yeah, I sent a picture of our orchestra to Mike. It was we have the orchestra that we first met in. So you can see us little babies there.
Gosh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, Erica's on the front right, and then Mike and I are in the back row. So
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Okay. Is Mike wearing a tux?
he is, because he was conducting. So yep,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
That's
stylish.
I got to tell you, we're friends with almost all the people in this picture still. So it was
Wow.
such a wonderful experience that has stayed with us all these years, 20 years. So
Great.
Goodness gracious.
All right. Well, thank you, Kelly, for sharing
Wow.
your history, and I feel like I've learned so much about you. We've been friends for a while, but I didn't know all that, so that is fun to hear. And at the Village, we should have just put pianos out there, Greg, and we could have had Kelly playing
just a lounge
percussion.
one
We
in
could
the
have been
middle,
singing.
like.
Yeah. Next time, we'll do it. We'll make that happen.
Love it.
Yeah. So, Greg, what were you doing in 2010? I know that Concord and Nine started in 2015. So tell us about kind of your life and your direction and how you discovered stamping and started your company.
Sure. Okay. And a few people said, sorry if my sound is a little loud. So people are saying my sound's loud, so I will try not to blare anybody out, or blow anybody out. I have a voice that carries. So my team, I do like to sing around the office, and I just sing full voice all the time, and whether they like it or not. But I have a voice that carries. Yeah, so Concord and Ninth, we are celebrating 9 years this summer. So when you said 50 years, Aaron, I just was like blown away. It's amazing. What an accomplishment. I mean, sometimes 9 years feels like 5 minutes, and then sometimes it feels like an eternity. And so hats off to Hero Arts that is an amazing milestone. So I actually got my start in the crafting industry back in 2006. I worked for a big box crafting company back then. Provo Craft, it's not around anymore. It was Cricut now, I think. I think they've rebranded. But that was my introduction into this industry. And then I left for a while and did sales. I was with HP, Hewlett Packard. I'm not a salesperson. I love people. I love building relationships. That part was supernatural for me. But then it was as soon as I had to start selling something, I was like, forget about it. So it just wasn't my thing. And I had studied Chinese and business management. That's what I got my degree in. And So I speak fluent Mandarin, or I did. I do not anymore, so nobody asked me to speak. Um, and then, so I kind of just, I had a strong interest in product development. And so I got back into the crafting industry with another company, and I eventually was the director of product development there. And I just truly, I looked out into this industry, and the three of you were three people that like I watched and observed from afar, and I saw this like it just felt a little bit more like my vibe, you know, more boutique style, or just something like more friendly and cozy about it, and less. It just felt really genuine and authentic. And so, never in a million years did I think I would actually meet you guys. But I met all of you. I met Kelly at Creativation when it was CHA, and it was actually in LA one year because they couldn't get the
Hmm.
Anaheim.
Yep.
Anyways, it was,
Yep.
and you guys were like just starting out, and I was just like, man, she is so cool. And um, anyway, so yeah, and now come to now, and I'm like, we're all friends, and I just know all of you guys. And so we started. I left that company with my former business partner, and we've since parted ways. But we started it 9 years ago. Concord and Ninth came from the crossroads of our. It was kind of the intersection of our roads. I lived on Concord Place. She lived off of Ninth, and the whole
Hmm.
idea of just like creativity is like creative cross sections kind of thing. So that's the play on our branding and our name. Um, and it's crazy. Now we've grown. We've since moved offices a few times. We're just expanding, and we're kind of in that phase of business, I guess. And um, yeah, when we started the business, I was a family of four. Now we're a family of seven, which is
Woo.
wild to me. So yeah, like just life has changed so much in these short 9 years. But honestly, my worst day at Concord and Ninth is better than my best day anywhere else. Like I truly like I feel very fortunate to have found like what I feel like is my place, like career wise and professionally. Like I know a lot of people aren't this fortunate at times, and I feel really fortunate to have found this, you know. And
Hmm.
it is one of those. I pinch myself sometimes, like, is this really what I do for a living? Like, and I love it. So that's
Yeah.
that's our story. So yeah, and now my brother works for me now. He works with me. He's our COO. I have a sister who works part time. My oldest daughter works for me. So we have a lot of. It's just kind of grown, and I've had friends from all different parts of like Kelly was mentioning, friends from college. One of my best friends, Lindsay from college, is our communications manager now, and it's so fun working with her every day. And so it's just like I don't know, when you get to have your own small business, you get to kind of make your team and choose your team, and it's fun. I'm having a total blast. And I can vouch for the Lawn Fun team too. I met them last year when I was down there. I went by their offices just to say hi and chat. And Kelly and I ended up chatting for several hours. I was just going to pop in to say hi, and then I was like, well, 3 hours later.
Nice.
But yeah,
That was amazing. We got to see you. It was so great. I can't believe that. I think it was like almost a year ago, and we need to make it happen more
yeah,
often.
absolutely.
We're a good place to visit here. We got the beach, so you got to come say hi again.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
It's a great
Greg, that's
office space too.
it is. It's a nice
Yes.
space, Kelly. From the videos, at least. I want to come visit.
Yeah.
Greg, I thought the name of the company. It's so funny. All these years was Concord, and then you release on the 9th, right? Don't you always try to release on the 9th of the
Yeah.
So we
month or something?
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
so when we were originally, we've since day one, we just decided, well, the 9th of the month is going to be our day to release products. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
and it came after the name of the company because we were like, when, like, how frequently are we going to release products? When should we? And we're like, well, the 9th. And then if people remember our name, then they remember when our products are getting released. So That's our, yeah. So that kind of came after, but, and we've stuck to it for 9 years now. So
It's genius.
Yes,
thanks.
Smart.
it's great. And it's so wonderful to hear, all of our businesses. Jennifer's brother Mike is behind the scenes on this live right now, making all the technical work. Um, Kelly's talked about the family and friends that are involved in her business. Greg, you mentioned that. Hero Arts, of course. My wife, Laura, she is the creative person behind the company. My mother founded the company 50 years ago in our apartment. My brother works for us. My sister used to. She actually, the commute from Portland to the San Francisco Bay Area was a little far, and so she
Yeah.
found a job a little closer. She's got young kids, but our son, daughter have worked for us. So I think that's a beautiful part of this industry. It also adds, I think, to that friendship, that sense of camaraderie. It really is a feature, not a bug, of cottage industries like ours. I think that you do everything you can, you make it happen. Like at the end of the day, if you've got a bunch of orders, it's got to ship. Like you're not
Yeah.
some corporate place where all the customers are faceless. No, we know the customers. I know a lot of the names of the people who are here joining us tonight. It's so wonderful to have all of you here, and I feel like we've known each other a long time. That is the feature of this industry that is so beautiful. So I think you said it very well, Greg, by saying, even your worst day at Concord tonight is a
Better
wonderful
than the
day.
best.
Yeah, I definitely echo that. I feel the same way. Um, so I will share how Hero got its name, since you guys have great stories. My mother was trying to make ends meet because she was a teacher who basically took a sabbatical for a year and tried to make stamping work. A little like you, Kelly. She could not believe this was something that people would actually do. I mean, she was just so enamored with stamps and just loved the whole idea. And the problem is there wasn't really ink out there. There wasn't really product. So it was slow going. So in the early years, she tried to make ends meet. So she taught classes. And a woman approached her and asked her to illustrate a children's book, because she thought, oh, can't you just draw it or stamp it? And so my mom decided, yeah, okay, I'll stamp out this children's book. And the woman's book was called A Girl Named Hero, it was basically the protagonist, Hero, was being chased by the sugar monster, was trying to rot her teeth. And and so Hero had to fight, to be sure, by brushing and convincing her friends not to eat candy. And the book is sadly out of print, but my mom, for the early books, actually stamped them out, used stamps and stamped out each one. So you got a personally stamped children's book.
Wow.
And my mom kind of felt like Hero, the girl named Hero, was someone who she really identified with. And so when she started her company, she called it Hero Arts, Jackie Arts, basically. That's my mom's name, Jackie.
How have I not heard that entire story before? I've heard bits and pieces. I knew your mom started it, but I did not know about the book, and I would love to see that.
I
Like,
know. I was
Yeah,
gonna say, do you have the book?
is that it? Like, is it one of the things behind you, or no?
it's not. We can't seem to find the book. My mom's got a copy somewhere in storage. She remodeled part of her basement and seemed to have lost the books
Oh,
that she had. But
okay, that would be
you can look
fascinating.
it
So if
up.
you find that,
Yes,
Yeah.
and it was tons of fun to kind of use the name Hero Arts over the years. The downside is that Marvel also likes that name, Hero. And so every time we do something, it always seems like we get a letter from Marvel. This is getting a little close. And of course,
uh,
they're quite a big company. And we're
yeah.
just a little stamp company. And so
You're like,
we try to
with
stay
our
away from.
forces combined.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Oh,
you call, your followers Fawnies, and we call our employees heroes, but we can't go too far with that because of the Marvel enterprise. Nonetheless, It's a great name. So we also um, kind of came together out of adversity. We were noticing in our industry that our trade shows, a lot of you probably haven't attended a trade show, but there is a whole network of trade shows. It used to be called, well, now it's called Creativation, but it used to be called CHA, Creative Hobby Association. There was the arts shows. And trade shows were really the way that all of us sold to independent stores, to a website. So we would go and attend these retailer-only trade shows, which were a lot of fun. But we were noticing altogether that these shows were dying, especially the stamping side of things. Like others were doing okay maybe, but we needed to attract new customers. We needed to get our buyers excited. We needed to find a way. And Jennifer, Greg, Gina, and I were having dinner at one of these shows, and we decided that we needed to do something, all come together and find a way to make it happen. And so we came up with the concept, although we didn't have the name just yet, but we came up with the concept of the Stamping Village. And the first person that we asked after Gina, Greg, Jennifer, and I came up with the idea was you, Kelly, to join us. And we pulled it off. We pulled off at the show this crazy idea where we told the organizers of the trade show to give us a center median that had no booths and just was a hangout place, which is actually Hanging with Hero, which is what we came up with the name. You kind of hanging out. You hang out with the industry, hanging out at the Stamping Village. And this is a wonderful way to work together. So had you guys in your kind of other jobs, Greg, or, in your career, Kelly, or Jennifer in the past, did you seen anything like this? This
No.
whole idea just seems so crazy. It just might work.
And it was like, it was such a fun experience. Like it was all pre-COVID, but like it just, I so looked forward to those opportunities where we were all together. And like, because I found myself even before the Stamping Village happened, I still would go and find you guys at like trade shows. So it's like we might as well all just be neighbors anyways, if like we're all looking for each other to hang out and say hi and stuff. And so we formalized it.
Yeah, I used to look at the map, like going, okay, where are we gonna? I want to place booth next to like my friends.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It was so fun, and like
it was
really
the
was
perfect place to hang out. It was, everybody came together. There was that center area. It just had an energy and a vibe to it that was amazing. And the whole, we only got to do it how many times? Twice?
I think,
just
2
twice.
shows?
I think it was
and
twice.
then COVID.
And then COVID hit. And actually, the second one, I remember going home, and it was right after that when things really went bad. And we were on such momentum. Like after the first year, a few more companies joined, and we were like in this process of like getting more and more companies to join us. And then it just got stalled out with COVID. But gosh, the energy and the vibe and the encouragement and the support. I mean, it was so much fun. So much fun.
Well, and that support, continued on through the uncertainty of COVID. I was hugely pregnant, and so it was not only with business, but with everything. And so we would get together on Zooms, even post trade show at the village, and those were like big, I don't even would be cornerstones or something for me. Just knowing like I'd get to chat with everyone again. It was so lovely. So not only in person, but also virtually too.
Yeah, we definitely helped each other. I think everybody had ideas to share, even post-COVID. How we were going to navigate this, how we were going to, cover payroll when revenue wasn't coming in, and then as COVID started opening up, how to start managing virtual shows. Like virtual shows were not something that a lot of us had too much experience. Like back in the day, Hero Arts used to go to, get this, 12 trade shows a year. So that's one a month.
Goodness.
Your team would be traveling, right? You'd be sending booths. We had multiple booths because you would send one to a show and it hadn't come back yet by the time the next one had to go.
Yep.
And so it was, you'd crisscross the nation. New York Stationery, New York Gift, Anaheim, Seattle, Miami, Dallas. I mean, it was, Minnesota, Cincinnati. I mean, there were wonderful shows, and there were just so many more retailers. We talked about this before we started this live together when we were all in the green room, that there used to be 6,000 independent stores that were customers of Hero Arts back in 2000. And today, a lot of those have gone out of business. Beautiful, wonderful stores that I miss, and I miss deeply. And it also feels like the reality is that trade shows after COVID were just not as relevant to so many people.
Yeah.
But we had 2 good years of the Village. The Village was great, right?
It was
I
so
mean, we
fun.
had the opportunity to all be together, next to each other, near each other. And 14 of us, like Alt New was there. I'm actually forgetting Dare to be Artsy,
Pink Fresh,
Gina.
Pink Fresh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Waffle
And
Flower was there at
right.
least the first
Yep.
year. Yeah,
Yep.
so fun.
So
And
great.
I'll tell you, it was nice that when COVID hit and things got very scary for our work, we all helped each other. We all talked to each other about what we can do to keep going. Live started to become bigger. A lot of video stuff, and we all just helped each other kind of course correct to figure out how to get through it and keep people creating and keep people feeling like they could have an escape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
a bunch of us were planning too. I remember to get together in March of
Mm-hmm.
2020, and
Yep.
like I actually wasn't. Oh, we just lost Aaron, but
Yeah, he
um,
got pixelated. He'll come back.
Okay.
but I remember though we were planning to get together, and Jennifer, you were texting me like you need to come, and I was like I wasn't planning on coming because I was just dealing with some things personally and in the business and stuff. And I was like, well, and you were like, it'll be good. And I was like, all right. So I decided to come like literally like 3 or 4 days before it was going to
Yep.
happen. So I
Goodness.
booked a non-refundable ticket and everything. And then I was like, and then the world shut down. Hey, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry
Um,
about that.
no, you're good. I was just talking about
Mike
that when
said,
we were all, oh,
I was just going to say, Mike said, hey, Aaron, you're on a text. Our technical guy said your Wi-Fi doesn't look great. So I, of course, grabbed a cable to see if I could make it, work better. And that didn't work.
It's okay. We
but
can hear you just
we can,
fine.
yep.
Okay.
I was just talking about how right before COVID, we were all planning to kind of gather together, just like a few people in the industry, just to because we just to get together and like kind of chat and
Yeah.
reacquaint ourselves with each other and stuff. And then the world shut down, and
Yeah.
we canceled that. But
Yep.
and then it's been a minute. I did see Aaron though. I saw you. I went with my daughter. Remember up to the Bay Area into San Francisco, and
Yeah.
was able to, after a few years of nothing and not seeing anybody, I was able to meet up with Aaron for lunch one day, and that was just. I just remember how refreshing that was. It's always just very refreshing and rejuvenating anytime I get to see anybody
Yep.
in this industry. I love it.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. And we also, part of this stamping village was the stamp sets that we did.
Yes.
We did, so each company did like an image for a stamp set. So it had all these different companies' images together on one, and all of the profits went to different charities. And that was really fun to do too. Those were really neat.
Yeah, that was fun. We should probably do something again someday, guys. How do we?
I think so too. I think so too.
Right.
This isn't me like announcing anything. Everybody in the chat, just saying. I'm not like one of those like, well, wait, maybe we should. No, but we should do something. We should at least get together someday. So.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
for
should.
sure.
Well, and it was fun to do the creative side of using little small format where we were all next to each other. I mean, all the companies had a little representation. I think the first one was mail art,
Yep.
which was a lot of fun. That was the original. And then we did a Christmas version or a holiday version. We did thank you and birthday. So those were great sets.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I think
Those
if there
we can
wasn't
bring
COVID,
back. Yeah.
we can. If there wasn't
Yeah.
COVID, I think we would have kept going because it just felt like the show was the central reason why we were all getting together. But moving on from the village, it does feel like kind of the friendship, which is kind of the theme, friends and family, which is kind of the
Yeah.
theme of this episode, is such a wonderful part of this industry. So, Kelly, when you first started, did you find people really helped you? Like you mentioned, kind of, getting started and you had 4 sets and nobody initially would listen to, and they actually wanted Red Rubber in 2010,
Yeah.
believe it or not. Clear was new. Who'd you look to kind of help you out, and what type of, companies were around back then? Because, 2010's a lot's changed since then.
Well, I was thinking you were talking about the name Hero Arts, and I was like, it's so appropriate because honestly, like you guys are my hero. Like that's what it was Hero Arts. Like that's what I was like, what are they doing? They're the ones to look at. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I had, like I told you earlier, I had every catalog. I was a super fan as a crafter.
Mm.
I'm super fan as a crafter. But I was like, gosh, everything that you guys do is just beautiful and wonderful. And the way that you do it is so joyful. And so that was my guide. Like I wanted to be like you guys. So I'm like, they have a catalog. We should have a catalog. They go to trade shows. Maybe I can go to trade shows. And so that was kind of what we did. And then doing those trade shows, just like we talked about the friendship, even before the village, I mean, the way that people help you out at these shows. I was telling Aaron earlier, if you guys don't know, there's something called drayage at trade shows where when you go in, you have to pay by how heavy your booth is. And not knowing this for your first show is problematic. And we were using cinder blocks to hold down our whole booth. And there's nothing you can do. You got to pay for it. So, and I remember it was a company called Crate Paper. I don't know if you guys remember them, but they were one of my favorite paper companies. And they looked over at me and they were like, "This is what you got to do." they told me, everybody helps each other out. And so going to the trade shows was a big place where we got that. I remember a company came and asked us, if we had barcodes on our stamps. And I immediately said, yeah. We did not. And so then I can't remember. I wish I could remember who it was that helped me, but they told me how to get barcodes. And so within the industry, whether it's stamps or paper companies, everybody was willing to help out this new company that didn't realize that maybe you should have a barcode on your back of your stamps. So, it was that we got help from so many people in that way. And the trade shows were really a big part of us not only being able to grow our company, but be able to meet everybody and learn from them too. So, yeah. And, it was so exciting. It was like getting to meet your heroes because I only knew everyone from online and these stores that I was obsessed with, like Two Peas in a Bucket or Archivers. And I just wanted to see our products there. And so I remember like stalking and watching them walk around until they would get to our booth, trying to convince them to come hang out on the lawn. So it was just a wonderful industry, honestly. We're very, very lucky to be in it.
Yeah, and explain the lawn that you had at your
Oh,
booth.
yeah. The Lawn Fun booth has AstroTurf. It's the theme. Our booth,
Yep.
our very first booth, how we had AstroTurf, and my husband Mike and I got a 20-foot canvas like drop cloth, and we painted it and then hand stitched felt to be a background of like mountains and clouds. And then we had a clothesline. So my husband loves woodworking. He made like these end pieces, and we had rope, and all of the stamps hung on a clothesline like it was out in someone's lawn, out in the mountains. So
I remember, like, even before I started Concord Night, going to the trade shows and seeing like going to your booth and stuff, and it was always just so inviting. Like, I mean, colorful, and I loved the AstroTurf. Like, I mean, it just made sense, right, for you guys. I love it.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, we joked was we had like the really thin AstroTurf, and then as we got bigger, we got the nicer AstroTurf.
Ooh. That's how you know
Right.
you're successful. by how thick the AstroTurf is.
We
The
made it.
thick AstroTurf. And I used to
Thankfully,
love to
I
come
think,
over to your booth and just stand there because it
yeah.
was punishing to stand all day on the
Uh-huh.
cement floors of trade shows. And so coming over to the
Yes.
Lawn Fawn booth was a real treat.
Nice
In
treat.
fact, I
Yes.
think it was the last one before COVID. I have a picture of me trying to nap on the lawn. So it was like the coziest place to be.
It is pretty
That's
cozy.
No doubt.
Yeah. Yes, it sure was.
Yeah. And shout out to Two Peas in a Bucket and Archivers. Sad to see them go. Those were two great institutions in our industry. Archivers, if you didn't get a chance to go, especially the one in the Mall of America, were epic stores. I mean, they were just
Yes.
massive and beautiful, well organized. Always fun. There was always events. Like I think they had events every night. Like you could probably stay there till midnight most nights of the week, taking a class or doing a crop. And they had a wonderful selection of products. And sadly, yeah, they went out of business. And then Two Peas in a Bucket was a wonderful community, a website that had a little bit of everything, carried so much of the industry's products, and also no longer with us. So I miss both of them. I saw somebody say that in the
Yeah.
comments, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
So Greg, what about you? Who was your kind of companies that you looked at and were trying to emulate? Now, in are you being coy, or did you work for Stampin' Up?
I did. I worked for Stampin' Up. So yeah,
Okay, yeah.
which a lot of people have got their start at stamping over there. Like,
Wow.
I mean, it's a lot of people's introduction into card making and stamping.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a much more corporate, like, just a different business model. And I was just, I was more interested in a cottage type industry, boutique style companies and stuff. This is the sweet spot for me. And I didn't know
Yeah.
that until I made the leap and came over and did this. But truly, and not like like Kelly said, I'm not just saying because we're on this call together. I really did. All three of you, and then I mean, Gina Case was a household name that I knew about long before we
Hmm.
started Concord in Ninth, and um, yeah, and I know that a few years before we started, companies like Pink Fresh, Waffle Flower, um, Alti New, there's just a lot of people that I looked at and I was like, it looks like fun. How can I make the leap over into this industry, this part of the industry, and still do something different or new? You know, like try to be ourselves, like because I'm like I don't want to be like I don't want to like just come in and copy what somebody else has done, you know. But I'm like, can we do something that can maybe like just accentuate the industry like in our way and stuff? And so that's what we've strived to do because we're a little later to the game. We're a little late to the party, but yeah, I truly just I really like would look at this segment of the industry and just be like, that looks like fun. You know how like you're just like, I don't know, I was kind of like a new kid in school and I'm like seeing these kids sitting at a table like eating together and they all look like they're having fun and they all look nice and they were. You guys were all really nice and you let me sit at the table, so thank you. But that was just kind of the vibe I got when I looked out over the industry and I just kind of had that longing for just and there is something more simple about the way we I don't know, I liked the just you can do so much more with less, you know what I mean? Like being a smaller company, I feel like there's an agility there. Like
Yep.
you can just kind of make decisions as you go and learn as you go um and that has been so fun to me. It's just like decisions don't have to like when you're in a larger company, decisions how many people do you have to talk to get approval to do something
Yeah.
and I just loved the freedom of like let's try it, you know, like just let's try something new or different and so we just yeah and I really was not like anticipating this
Mm.
being this close to other owners and like business owners in this industry. But it has been, and Kelly, you were mentioning like trade shows and stuff. Like I how much like both Aaron and Kelly were like, you guys were so supportive and helpful. Like I have questions. I've asked both of you many questions through the years, you know, and just so willing to like do some groupthink and mind share and stuff. And we try to pass that on too now, you know, like pay it forward. And um, I remember the same thing with those drayage fees where they weigh your stuff as you're coming into the off the docks, and that we basically framed a basement. Like I'm not even kidding. Like our first year, it was like I literally brought in like fully framed walls, and like our neighbors around us, I don't even remember what the companies were. Like we were in kind of a weird section. Like the people across from us were selling some really obscure tape. I don't know, but like I just remember they all came in with like folding tables, some things that popped up really fast, and I'm over there like, you know, like drilling like walls together and stuff, and they're looking at us like, you guys are crazy. It looked cool, but I just remember when we got our receipt for that, like from the convention center, I was like, I mean, we had no money back then either. Like we hadn't really, like we were so new, and it showed. But yeah, like I just love that. Sometimes it can be scary doing new things, like not just business, but just anything in life. Like when we take like scary steps into the darkness a little bit, I think sometimes we think like nobody's there, right? Like we're gonna just have to do this all on our own. And I was so pleasantly surprised that while there were some times where I had to do things on my own, there were so many times too, though, where there were people that were just willing to talk and to help out. And yeah, it's just it's a pretty, and I think it's fairly unique. I don't think a lot of industries are necessarily this way. I think there is something about the card making, crafting industry, like there's something special about it.
And I think we realize that all the different companies, I mean, you can see some stamps laid out and you can tell which would be Hero Arts, which would be Concord and Ninth, and which would be Lawn Fawn. Like we all bring something, not me, you guys all bring something different to the table, and it makes the industry for people like me better because you have the options, you have the variety. So you can play with different things or find what works for you and go with that. And I think that's one of the things that I like about the industry is the different things everybody has to offer too. The different people and the different styles of products. And Mike has a bunch of photos to share. Should we show some of those?
Yeah.
Well,
Hopefully not
first is this one.
Let's do it.
There's me sleeping on the lawn. So Jen Shurkus took that. She works with Kelly, and yeah, she got a picture of me trying to nap on the lawn.
Which I think
And that is plush.
I think I saw Jen in the chat.
Yes, my brother texted her, I think, so we got it. And you can just put something up, and whoever's photo is, whose is that?
This is Lawn Fawn headquarters in 2010.
Look at
so
that.
yeah, our whole house was filled with boxes, and we took a dining table and put it up on bricks to make it tall. And we just had stamps and paper and everything everywhere in our house when we first started. So it was wild.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was like a danger zone. Oh my gosh, we talk about archivers. You know, it'd be like the 40 archiver stores boxes lined up, you know, in the whole hallway. You could barely get out the door. So that was Lawn Fawn just a few years back, and that was our upgrade. We got racks from Costco. So
Ooh, look at
Those
that.
are the best. We still use those a lot. I love those racks.
And by those exact ones still too.
Yeah.
Is that the house that I visited, or is that another house?
Yeah,
It
but I
is.
just
Wow.
we redid. I think when you visited, we had redone a lot of it.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, was our dining room. Now it's a playroom for my son Miles. So
Good, good.
and all sorts of
Well,
things.
to me, that's a playroom right there. That's a playroom.
Right?
You got another one? Oh, oh, yes.
I have the magazine too. So Lawn Fawn was in People magazine in 2012. It was so exciting.
That's
Zoe
awesome.
picked us as one of her holiday gifts. And I remember I didn't answer their email because I thought it was a spam. And then they tweeted at me. And then I had to explain to them how clear stamps worked because they took all the photos in house. So it was really,
Oh my
really,
gosh.
yeah, it was really, really fun. It was these like starstruck moment that we got to be in People magazine. And I am still
Amazing.
a subscriber to this day because I love that they support small companies. So
So who
Oh.
did you
Did you
say
sell a
picked
lot?
you?
No, I don't think that it resulted in sales, but it was really cool still. So
Okay.
it was Zoe Deschanel,
Oh,
the
okay,
actress
yeah.
from Leventhal. Yeah. So
Yeah, she's
yeah,
big. She's big time. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it was
Yeah,
very exciting. I still am. I'm still kind of. It was a long time ago, and I'm still very excited about it. So it was
that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, what's up next? Oh, look at that.
That's our first
Babies.
warehouse.
Wow, look at
So
that.
that is baby
Yeah.
Erica, me, and Mike in our first warehouse that we called the Lawn Fawn Sweatshop because it had AC, but I in giant air quotes, the AC didn't work. So, so that was our very first warehouse there, and we packed it to the brim, and we only lasted a year there before we outgrew it. So,
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
and that was our second one. So it was the same building, but we went across the way, and there was two units together. So that was our second warehouse. I guess third if you count our house. So.
Did you ever have a retail store?
We didn't, but it looked like one, and most people came in looking for lawnmowers or fertilizer. So,
I love it.
and most people they'd walk in and say, "What is this?" So,
That's awesome. Oh,
there's
wow.
uh,
Oh,
working, and I think that's the first warehouse. You can see we would ran out of space, so we had to pack boxes on the floor, and that's our dog Daphne here, there in his lap. And Lawn Fun has always been filled
oh.
with dogs and kids. So there's kids that have grown up here. Rebecca's daughter grew up coming here as a little one, doing our make and takes, and now she works here as a 16-year-old. So it's definitely not just my immediate family, but the whole Lawn Fun office is a family. We have mothers and daughters who work here, and so it's pretty awesome.
That's
That's
great.
amazing.
Oh, my
And
Oh,
baby. I love him.
my little baby
oh,
Miles, he has growing up here at Lawn Fawn, and he's been playing with everything in this office since he could. So he used to love playing with all of the ink pads and restocking the shelves. So
So fun.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, look at him. Putting him to
I,
work that early. He's 4
I
now,
know
right?
he's 4. He just turned 4. So
Yeah,
yeah, he's such a
that's
sweet boy.
awesome. What a cutie.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to switch to Concord and Ninth. Is that right?
so this was our first. It's a really dark basement picture, but believe it or not, this was the second offices of Concord and Ninth, and it was the basement of my co-founder. And
Wow.
before that, we were in just a little loft, a 14 by 14-foot room, and then we felt like $1 million when we moved to the basement and had so much more room. You can see some of those Costco shelves in the background, Kelly.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, that was our first, just running it out of the house. Very, very similar to lawn farm. And then
Look
we
at that.
moved. We got an official office. It was this. We had to gut the whole thing. It was very 90s with burgundy carpet. So yeah, we ripped everything out and opened up some to make it more open concepts and collaborative. And so we again,
Wow.
it just felt like I don't know, like you guys probably feel this way too. Each step you take, like with growth, you feel just like I don't know, it's just like a whole new lease on life, and each time we've done that, the business has just continued to grow. So, and here,
Oh,
oh,
look
this is a
at
fun one. Okay, so this is fun. So you'll see Kelly there. Aaron, you weren't there, but I mean, like some of your team, Joan and Libby, and but this
Yep.
was the last summer CHA or Creativation show, and we all met for. It was just around the corner from that office, actually. here in Utah. And so we all went to dinner together. And again, this just shows that those relationships, and Alti is there. But yeah, just how there truly are relationships within this industry. I just love it. So.
So true.
And then this was the coloring road trip when Kathy Rakusin came through. You can see me and her there in the middle. I look a lot younger. And then there's Jennifer, and I think we have Heidi in the background with their
Yep.
faces. But this was so exciting because this was our first time that we were able to host something because we had an office space, and we were just so thrilled with all the people that came in from surrounding states and stuff to this coloring road trip that Kathy um, that she taught at and that we got to host, and it was really fun. Um,
You can you can see Christina in the back by the white
yeah,
door. And I
yeah,
remember Gina's over on the left. Her head is in there too. Gina and Heidi and I couldn't come, so they had those printout heads of us made so that we could be
yes,
included.
so fun. And I know Longfun, you guys hosted one of those as well, and Hero, you did as well, didn't
It
you?
was
Yeah.
so fun,
Yep.
so fun.
So much fun. There's me, Jennifer.
Oh, the
And then,
pictures we
yeah,
have.
I know. I had to be
Oh, that's funny.
discriminatory in the ones I showed. This was during COVID. This was one of my first times meeting Kathy, actually, Kathy Zilski, who is
Ah,
now one of my favorite people. She's my best friend I've never met, so in
yeah.
person. But, if you've ever been on a live with me and Kathy, there's never a dull moment. But yeah,
And
so fun.
and that's Simon Hurley in the middle, and then
Yep,
Jeff
Jeff.
Lindbergh on the left, and Christina on the bottom. I don't remember that. Goodness.
I think it was just a thing during COVID when we were like, well, let's just connect or something. It was just, I don't know. I don't
Well,
totally
we need.
remember the reason. And Aaron, I think you might have planned it, but it
Yeah,
was a
No
just
idea.
blast.
a way to hang out and not
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
isolated because we were businesses that were based on community and seeing people and getting out and being social, and none of us could do that. So
Yeah.
this was
Yeah.
an opportunity to really share, I think, and it was tons of fun. And then Jeff, it was kind of based on Jeff's stamping cocktails, creative cocktails. I don't remember if
Yes.
in this
Yeah.
one we had cocktails. Greg, I know you don't drink, right? But maybe the rest of us did.
Yes.
And
Well,
and when we
Simon
had,
would have been very underage at that point.
yes, he was.
True.
He was probably 17 there, maybe. And remember
Yeah.
Jeff Lindbergh, he's such a fun host online, but he also came to Stampin' Village to kind of be a host in the village and
Hmm.
introduce people and stuff, and that was a lot of fun too.
So fun.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Oh
then,
yes.
oh, there's me and Christina. Christina, for those who don't know, she lives not even 5 minutes from our office, our new office. So we are now currently in a bigger space. And yeah, so it's fun. Christina will pop in from time to time. And she's going to be here this weekend. We're having our big summer camp event. Jennifer's actually flying out tomorrow. So we'll see her. I get to see Jennifer in person.
You
And
can say
yeah.
tomorrow. I can say like 6 hours. Sorry, it's early.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's funny that we're on a live together right now, but we'll see each other in person this time tomorrow.
Yes,
But
for sure.
so this is our current office, and we occupy that whole building now, which is crazy that we grew from this 14 by 14-foot room to now. I mean, we have 14 full-time and part-time employees, which I know still is small compared to a lot of other companies, but I just never imagined it growing to this point. And it is interesting, like we all work with for the amount of things we provide in industries, like it's still a relatively small group of people that's trying to pull these things off, and so yeah, I just thought that would be fun to share, like how we've
Yeah.
grown. So
And I will
Yeah.
also say, I mentioned that Kelly's team is so great. Greg has that too. So when he has when
hunting.
Concord and Ninth has their camp, their summer camp, which is a virtual event that people can sign up for, he flies all of the teachers into their offices, the building he just showed, so that we can all teach together. And let's be honest, we teach, but there's a lot of shenanigans going on too. And so we've gotten
True.
to know his team, Lindsay and Jana. I mean, there's just his brother. Here's the thing, guys, there's actually another Greg out there, and his name is Nick, and they're very similar. And you get the two together, and it's hilarious. But
Yes, we are
it's
a rival.
great team and just such a happy place. I mean, all three. I've visited all three of your offices, and it's always fun to do. Everybody's so welcoming and as enthusiastic about what we do as we are. Even if they're not creators, they get what this is all about, which not many people do. So I love that about
Yeah.
all of your teams.
I know it. We have some pretty amazing people that we all get to work with. I love
Yeah,
it.
very
Yeah.
lucky.
So how many employees do each of you have?
So we're 14 full-time and part-time. So I think we have nine full-time employees right now. So
Wow.
still kind of small, but also
Yeah.
big. I don't know.
Yeah, we're about 25 full-time and part-time. Some people here in the office, and then some people virtually all over the place. So we kind of have a mixture, and it's like the best Fawny family. So, and a lot of people have been at Lawn Fawn. Many of them worked in our house. So there's people that have
Hmm.
worked at Fawn for 13 years, 12 years. So, which is amazing, and that, like, we've seen everyone's kids grow up. Coming here, and Miles is like the next Lawn Fawn next generation, so so we feel so lucky because they're our family. It sounds cheesy, but we really are, and everyone here, we just have a blast together. We have a pool table upstairs. We have fun, so we we
Yeah.
we we love getting to be together and work together. So it's a lovely place to be.
And I think the whole industry is that way. We're not big companies. There's no really large company that's, impersonal, thousands of employees. It's not the way this industry works, which I think is such a wonderful thing. It is that cottage industry. It is what you were looking for, Greg. That
Yeah.
small industry, that being able to create, being able to make an impact, being able to know the customer, being able to kind of talk with them on a regular basis and get that feedback. So I've seen in the comments, some people are asking, so how do you two continue to be creative every month and every quarter and every release? Like, how do you, get that energy to do something new? Like, I was looking at our catalog, which is coming out in July. It's going to be our 50th holiday catalog. So not only
Amazing.
have we been around 50 years, we put out catalogs or releases every year. My wife and the creative team, Laura Ackerman is my wife, if I haven't mentioned that. She's working right now to finalize all the details of the coming months. And I get that question all the time: how are they creative? But I'd love to hear how you guys find kind of the inspiration and the innovation month after month to put together beautiful releases.
Uh, I could go first. It's not always easy. Sometimes someone's just you see something and you're like you're inspired by just something you randomly see on like the side of the road or whatever, and you're just walking through a store and you're like, oh, that's an interesting concept or something like, um, and it's just like a really natural instinct to just like create and it comes together, and then other times it's you got to dig a little deeper. I don't know, it just um, we haven't run out of ideas yet, so that's good. But no, it is sometimes you dig a little deeper, and then ideas present themselves in those ways too, in those moments when you're like, ah, there it is, But it just
Yeah.
sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's a little more challenging, but that's part of the fun, right? It's creative problem solving. So
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, for us, I mean, a lot of it is just like because we're kind of silly people, so we're just like this pun would be really funny, So that's a lot of times how we will come up with a stamp set is what's a critter we haven't done yet, or like we just had critters in the desert and think the idea of like desert and dessert is really funny. So like desert and it's a desert theme, but then the one little character can say, you mean dessert? Like that's how we get our inspiration, is like, because for me, making cards is like, to be able to make something that's going to brighten someone's day is so powerful in so many ways. That's what's beautiful about what we do, because not only are you making someone else's day brighter, but the process of making the card is your own personal therapy as well. And being able to also make something for someone that they love. Like if someone really loves Roadrunners, like you could make them a Roadrunner card now. So, that's kind of some of the inspiration for us. And then we also, we love interactive things here at Lawn Fawn. And so that's a big inspiration for us as well, as like, what are we going to make next? What are we going to make that moves? And how's it going to work? That's it's just a fun challenge to come up with the next one of those. So that's always a blast too.
You guys have so many cool interactive and you guys have reimagined and re-engineered the card like splendidly so many times. I love it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you. Yeah, we love it. It all started with I was making slider cards the old way, where you would punch a hole and you would punch a hole, and then you would get an X-Acto knife and you would make the track and put the penny in.
Yeah.
And Erica's actually not a crafter. She is an artist. And so we joke that together we form like one functional person, because she's got the art brain and I've got the craft brain. And she seems really hard. Can't I just make you a die that does it instead? So that's how we started making interactive dies.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, she had a YouTube video, and so that's how we started doing it. It's like, could we make a die to make it? Not everybody wants to measure, it makes it simpler, and that's how we started. So our first one was called Slide On Over, and we just kind of make things move and pop and dance around as much as we can. So.
And I appreciate those kind of dies. Some people have the mind to kind of figure out how to do that on their own, like come up with it. But a lot of us don't want to think that hard when we craft, right? So we appreciate when you guys design products that allow us to create a wow effect without having to do the math and do all the measuring and stuff. So I'm a big fan of both of yours. I mean, Greg's telephone, the ta-da pop up with you. I mean, all of the different things. And I love that I can also mix them in with other company products too and get a completely different look. And I think that it goes along with how we all work together. We can work together on a card too. A lot of people, I don't know why, but a lot of crafters I think get stuck. Like they feel like if they're using Lawn Fawn stamps, they need to use Lawn Fawn dies and Lawn Fawn inks and Lawn Fawn. And it's like, you can mix those. Like Greg has some great, fruit stamps, and so does Hero Arts, and so does Lawn Fawn. So you can mix and match the sentiments and the images and the dies, and it just stretches our supplies. Because I can tell you, I don't make stamps, and I never will. But these three people, none of them want to be the only one standing. We don't want an industry where there's only one company. So they all like to see you use other companies' products too, because that's what will keep our industry growing strong. So
we actually kind of...
It's a thrill. Yeah. I don't know.
Yes.
But it's like a thrill when you see someone combine all these different things together. It's like, I don't know. It's just amazing.
We geek out. Like we totally geek out when I still am like, oh my gosh, look at that Concord knife being used with Lawn Fawn, used with Hero. Like it's fun to see. Like I guess it goes back to that thing where I'm still kind of enamored with like, whoa, like I can't believe I'm a part of this industry. And so to see like our products used together is like, that's pretty cool. I don't know, like that's like the ultimate compliment. So
our friend
make stuff and tag us all so we can see it.
Yes. So our friend Dawn, who owned W+9, and she now designs stamps, I know, for I think Spellbinders and Honeybee. She left a comment. She's wonderful. Man, that girl's got talent.
Love Dawn.
Here's a little story about Dawn. Dawn can watercolor like nobody's business. I mean, it's amazing. And I was at a retreat with her, and she was painting this amazing painting. And she got up and went to the bathroom, and I sat down and I picked up a brush and pretended I was painting and had Christina take a photo of it, and I posted it online so that people would think I painted it, but it was really Dawn's. You know, who would ever know? Anyways, Dawn's here, and she said mixing is when the magic happens, and I think that's
I love
really
that.
the truth. The mixing of the companies is really where the magic happens. So we love to see that.
Totally. Totally.
Absolutely. And it's so much fun when you see in magazines or in classes or shows, events. We have our virtual event, just like you're doing yours, Greg, which I can't wait to happen and see. We do a stamp along, and we always say, please use other people's
Yep.
stamps. Use the supplies
Yeah.
you have, because just like you
Totally.
say, and it's been kind of a theme for these episodes, rising water lifts all boats. It's a very important way to kind of support the industry and support the craft. And if you love stamping, why should you be confined to just Hero Arts inks or stamps? Why shouldn't you use, the dessert iguana from the desert of Lon Fawn, along with the fruits from Greg's line, and that it really is where the magic starts. I have to say a couple things real
yes.
quick. First of all, in these 50 years, we really want to thank all of you customers for being a part of the industry, really for being friends and family for so many years. And so we have been doing 50% off flash sales. And I have to tell you, I'm not a discount person. So every time the
True.
sales team or marketing team come to me, I always say, no, we work hard. It's just what it costs. But in this case, we're breaking that in order to celebrate 50 years and hopefully honor all of you. And this 24 hours sale starts now, and it's related to our core inks. And we have
Nice.
great inks in 63 colors, including reinkers. And you can get either the full-size pad, you can get the reinker, or you can get a bundle that includes both.
That's an
24 hours
incredible
only.
deal.
So,
That's
Wow.
incredible.
yeah.
And if you're
And
like
again,
me and been stamping for many, many years, I still have many of these colors. They used to be different names, like shadow inks, and there were different names along the way. But a few years ago, you guys revamped everything and kept some colors and kind of like rounded it out. And those ink pads that I had from before, like 20 years ago, still stamp beautifully. And they're just classic ink pads. And I use them a lot in videos. So this is a great opportunity to add some inks
That's
to
like
the
a
stash.
2 for 1. Like, I mean, they should definitely,
yeah,
take advantage.
it's so funny. It just occurred to me there is a story in how we got even the core ink name. We wanted to come up with a name that was really, it's like basic inks, like what you start with. Like,
Yeah.
what ink should I use? Oh, let's just grab the core ink, right? That was how we came up with it. It's a dye hybrid mix. That's the formula. So it's meant to be like the standard stamping ink. And I remember when we first were about to launch the line, I realized that American Craft actually had the name Core Ink. And they weren't using it, but they had it trademarked. And so I emailed them and said, hey, this is Aaron at Hero Arts. Would you guys mind if I use this for, you haven't used it for years and you've got it trademarked? And they wrote back, sure, go for it. It's
Wow,
yours.
that's
That was
awesome.
I mean,
nice.
just to show how kind this industry is,
Yeah,
right?
that is
So,
awesome.
I've known American Craft on and off, collegiately, but they were very kind. So it's another
That's
example of
cool.
how, the industry just kind of works together. We also have
Can I
giveaways.
make
I think.
Can I do a quick shout
Yeah,
out to
go.
you, Aaron, though? Because
Sure.
just the way that you reached out to American Crafts like that, like there was something one time you reached out to me about just where it was like blurred lines between our brands, like, and you wanted to just talk about it. I'm not kidding. Like Aaron is probably one of the most people with the most integrity that I know. So that's another reason why I just like Hero Arts fan for life. Um, and everybody really should support Hero Arts. Just for that alone, you have,
Yep.
I'm not going to get emotional, but you have so much integrity. And I mean, like I strive for integrity myself. Like I don't want to be a bad person myself, but like when I was my first interactions with her, Erin, were just I was just like blown away, and
Yep.
that really is who Erin is, and so that's why everybody should just always love hero arts. So
Yes,
Yes,
I agree.
I
I always
agree.
say he'd make a great president.
yeah,
Yeah.
Erin for
He'd
president. I'll vote
Yeah.
for
he'd
you.
fix he would fix everything, but I don't know that we want to do that to him.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'd age even more quickly. Um, yes, no, thank you, Greg. That's very kind. I appreciate that, and it's kind of the way that I got into the business. My mother was running the company, and my wife and I ended up buying the company from my mom because she was getting older, and I wanted to make it a kind of playful, kind place. That was always the kind of philosophy that I brought to the company. A green ethic, wanted to make the best possible products that we could make, and really, why be mean to each other when you can be kind and generous? And I try to live that way, and so I've always dealt with kind of business from that perspective. By the way, we also have some giveaways. We continue to get sponsored by scrapbook.com and Ranger. Anybody who wins, be sure to email info@heroarts.com, though, even if you win a different gift certificate, and we'll get you to the right place. $50 gift certificate plus a $25 gift certificate from a friend from Hero Arts. I'm having trouble seeing this one, but Vanessa Watchland, congratulations. Also, a second $50 plus $25 Carrie Jones. Scrapbook.com winner, $50 on their site, but again, email Hero Arts. Info@heroarts.com is Nancy Roth. Cindy Patton, you've won the Ranger $50 gift certificate. And then Lawn Fawn is also given $100, and it's Pam Medcalf. Email info@heroarts.com, and we'll get you to the right places. So congratulations, everybody, and thank you
Did
all.
you?
That's posted
I
in
also
the
emailed
comments
in
as well.
late. I also emailed in late, but we
Oh,
were
did
going to
you?
also do $100 gift card as well because I was,
Okay.
yeah, not to steal Kelly's thunder, but
No,
I just was like,
the more gift
Yes.
cards.
Just give it to me.
yeah, no, I just barely emailed like not long before this, but yes, we would also like, I don't know if somebody who's picking the names, but if they can pick another name, congratulations
She
to you.
can.
Yes.
Kelly's here. She'll pick one, I'm sure.
Yes, Kelly will pick one. So wait another minute or two, and we'll announce the winner of the Concord and Ninth. Um, I just emailed her.
This
Okay.
is classic.
Um,
This is classic Greg, you guys. Like classic Greg. Fly by the seat of my pants last minute. So that's the price you got to pay to be my friend.
And we love you for it. It's all good.
Okay, and Monica Zormand, congratulations. You've won $100 on Concord and Ninth. Again, email
Congratulations.
info@heroarts.com to claim it. Yes, congratulations. And Kelly said she had that one just in case because she knew Greg is spontaneous in the most wonderful way.
I'm a delightful person. No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is a question that we've asked the past guests as well. It's a hard one to answer, but what do you see going forward for the industry? I mean, do you feel like you've got a lot of running room on creativity? Do you feel optimistic? Do you see new innovations? Oh, I don't know how to answer this question. Like, I struggle with this one, but what do you think, Greg? How are you
What
feeling
do I
about
think?
looking forward?
I actually like. We've actually been talking about this because we're kind of planning our ninth birthday right now, and we're Concord and Ninth, and so it's been a very introspective
Nice.
time here at Concord and Ninth, and we're looking at what we're doing, but also industry wide, like how things are going, and it is amazing how in these 9 years that we've observed the industry and been a part of it, we've seen so much change and evolve, um, and in some ways, some things have kind of gone by the wayside a little. Like we were talking about, trade shows are a different thing now. It's just not as big of an emphasis as it used to be. um, way more connecting via these like live streams and things, which I think are wonderful. I was really nervous when these types of things started to come about, but I'm finding that I do enjoy it more and more. Um, I it, I think it's one of those things that I don't know. I still like. I love being a part of this industry. I want it to be around for a long time. I want to be celebrating our 50th anniversary someday. You know, I feel like it's a um, I don't know. That's my hope for it, and I think we live in a time where we can connect more than ever, even though it is virtually. Um, I mean, we've been one of those companies. We've been doing kind of those virtual events and things, and it's just been. I don't know. I was skeptical at first. Is it possible to stay connected and things? But what I'm finding is that as we just evolve with the times and the trends, it's I don't know. That's like I'm curious to see how that continues to evolve. Like what does this industry continue to become? And I think it is an industry too where it is so easy to connect and showcase and show things that we're making and doing. I mean, it just with the trends of like social media and live streams and all that, it just seems like very natural for this industry to continue to go in that direction. I do long for a time though when we can connect in person. So I'm looking for those
Hmm.
opportunities as well someday. But I'm also just yeah, I'm amazed at how things have changed, and some of that was out of necessity in a post-COVID world. But yeah, I feel optimistic for the future. And yeah, I don't know if that's a super clear answer, but that's how I that's how I feel.
That's a great answer.
I made somebody cry. I made Shannon Snyder cry. I don't know why, but I'm sorry. I hope they're happy tears. How
What
about
about
you,
you,
Kelly?
Kelly?
What do you think, Kelly?
Well, I mean, that's sort of what's exciting is that we don't know what the next new product might be or what the next big thing might be in our industry. But one thing I do know is that I really think that like as humans, we have a desire to work with our hands, and we
Hmm.
love to stamp and create. People garden, they cook, they do all these things. I think it's literally human nature, and I think it's human nature to love and want to give. And so I think our industry is perfect for that. And so I just think that part is just going to stay the same. So that's the part I think we all love about it. So, and that's what you bring. Like, Greg was talking about Aaron, like the integrity and the love that Hero Arts brings to the industry. Like I feel like you are our leader and you show us how to be wonderful. So, and so
Mhm.
if we can just keep bringing joy to the people who are making cards and they're bringing joy to the people they're giving them to. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, there aren't
Absolutely.
many hobbies or industries where you get joy out of doing it, but then you also get to give that joy to someone else. It's
Hmm.
just unexpected joy. What more does this world need right now? So something that we can do to brighten people's day.
Yeah,
It works
for
well.
sure.
Yeah. It's such an honest, and it's just so honest, like what we do. Like,
Yep.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that joy and that love just never goes out of style. Sharing handmade kindness, sharing kind of something from yourself, sharing the kind of creations and the innovations and the new ideas, whether it's new products, it doesn't even matter. I think that the kind of the feeling and the passion in the industry is always going to last. So I see it, Greg. I think you're going to get to 50.
I hope.
Yeah.
And there's like so much love going on in the chat right now. So I think this industry's in good hands. I don't know, like there's a
Yeah.
lot of love. And that's yeah, so with that. Oh,
I in these.
matching.
What was that?
Hey, did I make that?
How did you do that?
You can something to do if you do a heart on your screen. It's
Oh,
supposed to be
Yeah.
able.
The internet doesn't like my hand heart.
Kathy Zilski taught. You can also do this too, and it
If
like.
you do this, it'll give you fireworks. If you do this, it gives you fireworks.
Fireworks? Oh,
Goodness.
Sorry, party tricks. Sorry.
Greg's got all the cool stuff. Yeah.
I'm a magician. I don't know.
Like jazz hands or
Anyways.
something.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. How exciting. And I have to say,
Magical. I agree.
iPhone thing.
what'd you say?
Using an
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
And it might be an iPhone thing where I'm hearing.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ma said it only likes Greg. Oops.
Greg is magical.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to break up the mushy
okay.
stuff.
No.
Well, I think one of the things I love about doing lives like this or doing virtual events is that in the comments, you see how much people really value what this craft brings to their life. And that's why I feel like the future of this industry will stay strong, because people really recognize and appreciate that. So I think, and then Lila here was crafting the whole time. And let me see if I can look at what she made.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So she did little colored lines. She traced a heart die. Then she did little colored lines with the sketch or the bold end of a Copic marker. And then she drew little legs and heads on it. It's like us.
That is so awesome.
I think she was going to send that to her brother, but
I will.
Yeah.
That would be such a cute
For
stamp
sure.
set.
Oh my
That
God.
would
It
be
would
a
be.
stamp, multi-step stamp set.
Right?
It would be a great stamp set. Good thing I know people who can do that.
Maybe
True.
we'll just
Not
like
me.
collaborate and yeah.
Yeah. That would be a great the
awesome.
next village stamp set.
There you go.
I love it.
They all like your card. She can't hear you guys.
So talented.
Maybe, in fact, the next village set should be drawings or art or creativity from all of our kids, right?
Oh my
That
gosh.
just would show
Oh,
the
that would
generational.
be
Well, Greg's family would need a whole set because
True.
because we have a whole farm. I have a whole entire farm of family at my house. So there's a lot of us, and it's loud. But
yeah, well, that's okay.
for those who don't know,
Yes.
I have kids ranging from 4 years old to 20, almost 20 years old. So yeah, pretty wild.
You just need Kelly to come play drums, and then there'll
Yeah.
be more noise.
Make it louder.
I love it. I love it. I think my son wants to be a percussionist, so I might need to have him talk to you. So
Oh.
Oh, nice.
he's actually very interested in it. So I
Oh
might
my God.
have them talk.
We can FaceTime. That'd be amazing.
That's awesome. I would love it.
Okay. Well, I'd love to continue talking with all of you forever. It's so much fun. It's so much, it's such a joy to share kind of the love of the industry and the secrets behind each of your companies and you individually. I really feel like, even though we've been friends, all of us, for a number of years, I feel like I know you even better. I love you guys. It's a lot of fun, and I appreciate you joining. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We really love to see all the comments, and we certainly hope you'll come back for future episodes. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Kelly. And as always, thank you, Jennifer, for being a part of this.
Thank
Look at
you.
that.
Love
He's
you,
showing off
Aaron.
again.
I know. It's what I do. It's what I do. Oh, guys. Oh, what is going on? I'm just sorry. Can you tell that I'm a little loopy? This happens to me about 6 o'clock every day. So if you want entertainment, I'm here. I'll leave. So.
I'd watch.
Well,
Love you, Aaron.
We love you guys.
Love
So
you
much.
all.
All right.
Thank you all for watching.
Thank you
We
all.
appreciate it.
All right.
Take care.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.